people continue to mourn and even celebrate the life of former President Jimmy Carter, we're now learning more about the official funeral plans for the humanitarian.
Atlanta News First, Sarah Hammond is live right now in Plains, Georgia. And Sarah, kind of bring us up to date on when those services for President Carter will begin.
Well, unofficially, they have already started here in Plains, with a lot of people gathering at the former president's lifelong church here in Plains for a candlelight vigil last night. But officially, the funeral services will kick off on January 4th, this coming Saturday. Now, the 6-day event will span from Plains to Atlanta to Washington, D.C. Carter's funeral procession will begin Saturday here in Plains and head to Atlanta, where he will lie in repose at the Carter Presidential Center until Tuesday morning. Then the procession will travel to Washington, D.C., where the former president will lie in state at the nation's capital. And Carter's state funeral, along with a national day of mourning, will be held January the 9th. After the funeral, Carter will be flown back to Plains, where a private ceremony will be held at the former president's church, and he will be buried in Plains later that day. But even before the official ceremonies begin, people gathered in Plains on their own to take a moment to remember the man who went from a peanut farmer to president of the United States.
He will probably always be one of the greatest Georgians. Whether you agreed with him politically or not didn't really matter. He was Georgia.
And while former President Jimmy Carter lies in repose in both the state and nation's capital, the public is invited to attend to pay their respects. But officials are warning that lines could get very long for that, so be prepared. Live in Plains, Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
Yes, Sarah, a lot of people likely want to get out there and pay their respects, as we can understand, for the impact that he made. And right now, the flag over the White House flies at half-staff in honor of President Carter. Flags are to remain at half-staff for the next 29 days. We have much more on President Carter's life and legacy in just a few minutes. You can also see the plans to honor him right there in the palm of your hand by texting the word Carter to 470-777-WANF, and we will send a link right to your phone. Again, that number is 470-777-9263.